I just want to move into interesting discussion around business cycles, and there's a company called BluFin which looks at business cycle indicators, and for India last couple of months that indicator has actually shown an uptick. This is considered to be a leading indicator and could potentially foretell of improvement in the economic sentiment and the economic realities in the months ahead. Let me welcome in to the show Debopam Chaudhuri, Vice President of Research at BluFin India. Very good afternoon to you. Thanks so much for coming in here. Let me just first start, because not everybody is very familiar with this indicator. Could you briefly tell us what the indicator looks at and what it's been indicating to you for the last couple of months?
Hello, Ira. Yes, surely. So the BluFin Business Cycle Indicator is a lead indicator of the Indian business cycle, and it can be tracked on a monthly basis. This is real time as against an IIP or a GDP, because, for example, the IIP for September talks about the manufacturing activity that happened way back in July. But the September BCI talks about where the economy is in September as well as what the outlook is in the next 3 to 4 months, since it's a lead indicator. So since February 2012, what we have seen is there has been a consistent decline in the BCI, but this trend changed in August 2012. In August 2012, there was a slight growth, and this growth was also maintained in September. In September, the index level stood at 157.4, which is like a growth of 0.1% over the August numbers. And the implied year-on-year growth rate is 2.5%. Though these growth rates are very low compared to the historical averages of the BCI itself or maybe the IIP, but any positive number is a good number right now in the Indian economy. And we are encouraged to say that if this trend continues in October as well, then definitely we will be more confident to say that the BCI has bottomed out.
Okay.
And since it is a lead indicator, the Indian economy would definitely start to rise from January 2003.
Okay, to the extent that lead indicators tell you what will happen in real economic activity. But point taken there. But I want to ask you about where the improvement is being seen. What particular sub-segments? I saw a little bit in your release which said that basic intermediate goods are starting to see a little bit of improvement.
That is absolutely right. To give a little background to this, the business cycle indicator is further subdivided into various components like real economy variables, government policy variables, money market and capital market variables, and foreign trade. So the current improvement has been largely due to improvement in certain segments of the real economy variables. To be specific, the basic and the intermediate goods and services sector. And metals like aluminium, copper, steel are showing some very good signs consistently for the last 2-3 months. And non-metals like cement and rubber is also improving. And these are like classic lead indicators for any business cycle. And in India, these lead indicators are growing. So this is a good sign, definitely.
But the flip side of it is what you've noted on the consumer side. On the consumer side, you're saying recent weakness has started to show up, which is not good news.
That is again right. So the concern right now is the consumer sector, and we track consumer sector through various indicators. One such indicator is a consumer sentiment indicator, which is kind of proxied by the BluFin Consumer Confidence Index. So this consumer sentiment indicator has been telling us that consumers are very averse right now in spending, and this is primarily because huge pessimism regarding inflation and employment. Apart from the consumer sentiment, if you look at consumer data, hard data like two-wheeler, four-wheeler sales, domestic air traffic, or perhaps consumer mobile subscriptions, all are like downtrending right now. So this gives an impression that the consumer sector definitely is weak, and we are keeping a close track of this particular sector.
All right, I'm going to leave it at that for today. Very interesting, very interesting. Thanks so much for joining us and giving us a sense of that. India is not great on leading indicators. So indicators like this BluFin indicator plus the PMI, etc., suddenly starting to become far more important.
India's #1 news app just got even better. Download NDTV's new app. Fully optimized for retina display. Full screen view. Faster response time. And Sudoku. NDTV's new iPad app. Download now.